Mike Bond here with two-time Olympic gold medalist and 2019 PFL champion, Kayla Harrison. Kayla, how are we doing today?
I'm okay. I'm alive. I got a house. I got food in my belly. I'm good.
There you go. Obviously, a lot going on in the PFL world right now. They had to postpone their 2020 season to 2021. I guess just first and foremost, what was your reaction when you just saw that initial news? And I guess how far ahead of time were you aware before that became public?
Unfortunately, I was not aware before it became public. I actually found out in the middle of training. So that was a bummer. And my initial reaction was, I wasn't surprised. I knew it was going to be really, really difficult to hold a full season, just with all the craziness that's going on. But definitely disappointment, major disappointment.
Yeah, and I guess we can just get into the kind of initial news that came out. They had said that they were going to pay, a stipend to, the athletes and stuff like that, which is obviously, a great thing. But like you said, on the other side of it, would have been maybe nice to get a heads up first. But on that side of it, what do you know about, that element and how they're going to be holding the athletes over during this time?
I'm not entirely sure exactly what the payment is going to be. I know I talked to Pete. He didn't mention a figure. I know that they did have to let a lot of people go. Mm-hmm. I know that everyone's taken a pay cut, including Pete. So they're doing a lot. They're doing as much as they can to keep the PFL afloat, I think, and to survive this, and also to try and take care of their fighters and their employees. So, I think hopefully the athletes will be able to, whatever it is, it'll be enough. But I don't have numbers or figures or anything like that for you.
Right. So you were supposed to compete on which day? It sounded like you were in the middle of, a training camp, right?
I think I was supposed to originally fight June 18th, maybe.
Okay.
So, I always, I like to train. I like to keep getting better. I like to continue to pursue excellence. My training partner lives with me, so we're quarantined. The gym is, we're only allowed to go at certain times with certain coaches, practicing, safety first. But yeah, no fight on the, man, this is as depressed as you'll ever see me, probably.
Well, I hope I'm not feeding into it too much here, but of course we kind of want to know what's going on there. So, I guess, do you have any idea what the lay of the land is? You mentioned
no. My hope is, honestly, my hope is once the country opens back up and the economy opens back up, that they'll, decide to go ahead and have fights. Maybe not the season, which I know is an integral part of what makes the PFL so special. But I think they should still give their fighters an opportunity to fight. Going 15 months with no action is just not feasible, I think. So hopefully they figure out a way to do one-off events. I know that they're talking about putting out a lot of content and behind the scenes and working with ESPN to do stuff like that. But, listen, as a fighter, my number one goal is to fight. That's it. It's not really about making money. It's not about chasing anything like that. I just want to fight and I want to keep getting better. So my hope is that pretty soon I hear some news about, okay, we're gonna have some fights at the end of the year.
Yeah, because I guess that's a little bit of what I'm hearing as well. Like, they had to release a lot of fighters, the international fighters and stuff, because they won't be able to fulfill that season obligation. But maybe the people that are North America, stateside, they might try to book some one-off fights throughout the years and at least keep you guys active until they can put a full season together next year.
Yeah, I think hopefully that would be best case scenario for me right now. You know.
Yeah, that's a tough one. I guess maybe feel a little bit better the fact that pretty much everyone is in your shoes, unless apparently you're a UFC fighter who may be able to get in there. They just announced 3 events in 7 days.
Yeah. Well, that's the other thing that's kind of, honestly, in a way, for me, it's promising, because if UFC is able to host events and hold fights, and it's deemed safe and, goes off without a hitch and is successful, then, to me, there's really no reason why the PFL couldn't do something similar.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, I guess just the whole PFL system is kind of built around this $1 million prize and stuff like that. Do you have any idea, how things would work, even if you just start, have 1 or 2 fights throughout the end of the year? How does that impact, all those elements when it comes to the obligations and the contracts and all that stuff?
Well, I think that probably what they would end up doing, I mean, I'm not sure, obviously, but I think they would probably just end up paying you your regular season pay, for the fights that you do fight this year. I'm assuming that's what that's what I would expect. So if you have show money, win money, or if you have just a set fee, hopefully they would just pay you that.
Yeah. And I mean, I guess
I don't have a lot of answers. I'm sorry.
No, it's totally understandable. I mean, I think a lot of people are still trying to figure out what's going on. And I think this definitely, as you kind of said, I think this May 9th UFC event and then the ones in the days that follow, if they can pull this off, I mean, I don't think it's just the MMA world that's going to be looking at them. It's the sports world as a whole to see if they can.
No, for sure. I mean, for sure, that's going to change the landscape of things. And I think a big indicator of what should happen is, when president decides to open the country back open the economy back up. I know, like, for instance, Georgia and Tennessee are, implementing phase 1 today, of reopening a lot of things. So, time will tell. We'll see how it goes. I'm definitely bummed that I'm not going to be fighting in June. But, again, I always try and find the positive in things. A lot of people ask me, well, how do you feel about the Olympics being postponed? And I had to remind myself, I was really depressed, and I had to remind myself, well, I think I said that, this is a great opportunity for the athletes that were going to shine even brighter. This is an opportunity for them to overcome an obstacle, for them to persevere, and for them to have a whole year to get better. So I had to remind myself of that. This is an opportunity for me to shine even brighter, and, I have this obstacle in my way, but I have a whole year to get better. And I hope I don't have to wait a whole year, but yeah.
Yeah, it's a challenge. And now you actually kind of led me into a perfect segue, mentioning the Olympics. The last time I saw you was at the Dominance MMA Media Day in Vegas. And we had lots of fun with Henry and everything. But on a more serious note, I did ask you if you thought, the Olympics were going to be in jeopardy. And at the time, you didn't really think so. And I think none of us could have really seen how serious this would have gone at that point. But to see where it is now compared to, what you thought back then, are you, really surprised that?
I mean, that's kind of when I knew that it was serious. Like, when they decided to postpone the Olympics, that's kind of when I realized, like, okay, this is global, this is big, this is for real. Like, that's billions and billions and billions of dollars. Like, they're not gonna postpone it. Like, we're still so far away from it. So unless it was very serious, that there's no way, like, the Olympics would be postponed. So that's when I knew it was pretty serious. And honestly, the hardest part is just not knowing what the future holds. We have so much unanswered questions and dilemmas, and, everyone wants things to go back to normal, but it's also not really clear whether or not we'll ever go back to that normal, or if we're going to have to establish a new kind of normal. So it's interesting times. Definitely the craziest. I mean, did you ever picture this, like, in a million years? Like,
No.
I don't even know, like, this is real life sometimes.
I know, it's crazy. And I mean, could you even put yourself in the position of, like, an Olympic athlete going through this? Like, obviously you're kind of past that stage in your life, but to have worked, say, like, the 4 years, and, we hope it happens in 2021, but we're even hearing some things that there's no guarantees of that as well. So like, be in that position where you work the 4 years and you're, like, right on the doorstep months away, and have that ripped out from under you. I know you kind of spoke well in saying give you another year to improve and everything, but
no, I mean, it's, like, so easy for me to sit here and say that and be like, all, like, Miss Positive Polly. But if this was happening in 2016, like in March or April of 2016, I would have had a full blown meltdown. Like, the problem is you can't even, like, it's not like you can take a month or a couple weeks and, like, all right, I'm going to go somewhere, I'm going to regroup, I'm going to travel and clear my head and get my mind right. Like, you can't even leave your house. So there's really no escaping this feeling of impending doom and the fear of, you know, maybe your dreams being put on hold indefinitely. Like, that's, oh my gosh. I was burnt out in 2016. If this had happened, I don't know. I honestly can say I don't know if I would have made it. I mean, I would have tried to, obviously, I would have made it, but who knows if I would have won. You know, it's just, this is like I can't imagine being an Olympic athlete. I can't imagine being an Olympic athlete who was preparing to retire, you know, after this Olympics and continuing this, because when you want to talk about a grind, like, that is a slow, steady grind on your mind, your soul, your body, your bank account. Like, it's a unforgiving thing being an Olympic athlete. So I feel really, my heart goes out to them. My heart goes, I mean, listen, at the end of the day, it's a sport. You know, what we do is athletics, and it's really cool to try and be the fastest or the strongest or jump the highest. And it's really cool, the Olympic ideals, but I can't even imagine what it would be like right now to be, you know, a single mom who's a waitress and unable to do her job. So you got to keep things in perspective.
Yeah, definitely. I think that's a great point. And I guess you don't want to make this interview too depressing here. I guess as we go to close it off, I mean, is there anything you're doing, you know, just day to day to keep yourself sane through this? I mean, obviously you said you live with your training partner, so I guess you're able to, you know, get something out in that form. But you know, other than that,
quarantine life really isn't that different from my regular life, to be pretty honest with you. It's the not having a fight and not having something to train for that's terrible for me. But I mean, I'm very lucky. I live in sunny South Florida, so I go swimming. I got a pool in the backyard. I got my dogs. I walk the dogs a lot. Still training. I will admit that now occasionally I have had like a glass of wine at night, which normally I would never do because I always have to wake up super early to train the next day.
right.
That's a new concept for me. But just trying to, I don't know, find ways to keep myself continuing to grow as a person, as a fighter, inside the cage, outside the cage, practicing mindfulness, trying to learn how to meditate, you know, lots of corny stuff that I'm sure everyone's like, okay, Kayla.
You know, how tough is it to be, you know, away from the gym? I know I've been at American Top Team, seeing how you interact with your teammates and everything. I know you're one of the team leaders, and just not have that day-to-day interaction with all the teammates. Is that, you know, being a difficult adjustment, I guess, socially?
Yeah, I'm definitely what you would call an extrovert. I'm definitely a social butterfly. And I would just like to go ahead and clarify once and for all, I am the team captain. I'm not one of the leaders. I am the leader of the team. It's on my bio on Instagram. So obviously that makes it true. Yeah, it's been tough. You know, I'm not really, fighting is such a solo sport and such a solo journey in and of itself, but being part of a team like American Top Team and being able to go in and share that journey with so many awesome people makes the ride that much better. And not being able to do that really it's a Debbie Downer right now.
Well, hopefully, what can we do to cheer you up, Kayla? I feel like you're a little bit done.
Yeah, you really you didn't help. Man, I don't know. Tell me I gotta fight. No, I'm good, honestly. Like I said, you have to keep things in perspective. Obviously, poor pitiful me. I'm sitting here in my beautiful house in beautiful sunny Florida with my 2 doggies and a fat mill sitting in the bank. Like, life could be way worse. I could be that 16-year-old like broke who was working at the hardware store trying to make the Olympic team eating ramen noodles. So it could be a lot worse.
Fair play, yeah. Always good to keep
everyone in my family's healthy. Everyone's healthy, so it's good.
For sure. Well, hopefully that continues to be the case, and I'm really grateful that you took some time, Kayla. I'm bummed for you that, you know, the thing is going down as it is, but hopefully they can, you know, turn it around pretty soon here, and we can get, you know, MMA in all forms back up and running soon later.
From your lips to God's ears. Thank you.
Have a good day, Kayla. Appreciate it.
Thanks.